What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today of course we're going to be talking about the Curse of Osiris DLC and basically rounding up some cool and interesting things I found I wanted to tell you guys about. There's currently a hidden exotic as well as some new exotics I want to show off. There are some puzzles, quests, new loot, and general impressions of the DLC. So as usual, a big summary of a bunch of things I want to show you guys. So firstly, let's talk about a pretty special exotic that's currently undiscovered. I'm sure it won't be long before it's solved, but as of right now, it's a hidden exotic that nobody's talked about online or in any forums. There are literally 0 posts on this thing right now, so I want to let you guys know, get the ball rolling, and hopefully we can shed some light on figuring this thing out. I've seen a ton of people say, man, I wish you could get Sagira's ghost shell as your own ghost. I wish it was a real thing, but it actually is as an exotic ghost shell. You can see right here. So of course, exotic ghosts are new to the Curse of Osiris DLC, and most of them seem to have some pretty impressive perks, definitely much better than legendary ones. And this one, for example, has the You're Welcome perk, detects caches and resources within a 75-meter range on Mercury, so of course is very fitting for Sagira's ghost shell. If you don't know, most ghost shells do have a radius of 30 meters, that's the standard, and also one exotic I believe has 50 meters, so this one, the Sagira shell being 75, is definitely an upgrade. It is also pretty strange at the same time because Mercury as a patrol space is obviously very, very small, so having a ghost that gives you a bigger radius is a bit weird. Would be nice to have that in the European Dead Zone, but this is the main perk of this ghost shell. It also has Omni Telemetry, so generate gunsmith telemetry data on any elemental weapon kills, pretty common on exotic ghost shells. And the final perk on it is Scion of Mercury, increased glimmer and chance to obtain additional faction consumables on Mercury. So that is what it does. The perks are quite cool as far as ghost shells go, but obviously no one really wants this because of its perks. It's mainly because of how it looks. It is a very, very cool and unique shell. I think the fact that we do have some sort of secret exotic, at least for the first couple of days, is definitely promising, and it's something Destiny 2 has been lacking. We already missed having those secrets to find and those quests that pop up out of nowhere that lead to exotics, but it could be something as simple as completing a bunch of objectives around Mercury, which would make sense, or even something bigger like a time-gated quest. But seeing as it's just a ghost shell and not a weapon or armor, I feel like it's probably some sort of Easter egg or thing you have to do in-game. But there you go, something currently undiscovered. But like I said, I don't anticipate it being dramatically difficult to get this massive quest like Outbreak Prime. It's probably going to be something simple just to find, and knowing the community, it will probably be solved within like a day or two. So of course, when it is found, I'll be sure to let you guys know on this channel. So stay tuned for some info on how to get Sagira's hidden exotic ghost shell. So next up, let's talk about all the actual exotics added into the game with the expansion. There are 17 in total that were added, a combination of some old ones from Destiny 1 and also some brand new ones. So for an overview in terms of content, for new stuff, there are 3 completely new exotic weapons and 6 completely new exotic armor pieces. There are 2 exotic weapons returning from Destiny 1 and 6 exotic armor pieces also returning from Destiny 1. So side by side, there are 9 new exotics and 8 old ones from Destiny 1. So for hunters, you have the Graviton Forfeit returning. Its new perk extends how long you can stay invisible and also charges your melees faster when invisible. You got Shinobu's Vow, the gauntlets. They're also back similar to how they were, improved skip grenades and also give you an extra one, so 2 of them in total. And the Gemini Jester is the new set of boots. These stun enemies when you dodge near them. The Titans have the Helm of Saint 14 returning, which still blinds enemies that walk into your bubble, and also stuns enemies when you're blocking in the Sentinel Super, and you basically walk near them. So when you're shielding, that's going to stun enemies for a short time. The MK44 standard sides are also returning. These now give you an overshield when you're sprinting at full health and have your subclass shoulder charge up. So no matter what subclass you're playing, when you're ready to do your shoulder charge thing or knee charge, if you're full health when doing that, it's going to give you an overshield, and also any hits with those strikes are going to recharge some melee energy for you. Now, the new Titan exotic is a helmet called Kepri's Horn, of course related to the Hunter exotic back in Destiny 1, the Kepri's Sting. So what this does is solar damage kills recharge your barricade, which then blasts solar energy when you summon it. Now for Warlocks, you have the Stag helmet returning. This gives you rift energy when low health, and also puts a quick healing rift down when you die. There's also the Ophidian Aspect Gauntlets, one of the best ones in Destiny 1. These still give you quick draw and faster reload for all weapons, but now boost your melee range as well, so that is an added bonus on top. So these things are still very, very good. The boosted melee range isn't quite as good as the Syntheseps, but it's still definitely a boost nonetheless. So these things are going to be one of the best for Warlocks, especially for Crucible. The new exotic for Warlocks is called the Vesper of Radius Chestpiece. So Rifts do an arc shockwave when you place them down, and also Rift energy charges faster when you're surrounded by enemies. Now on top of that, there are also 3 new exotics for each class, the Hunter, Titan, and Warlock. They basically work in combination with each other when combined, the same thing as the Rat King. So when you're nearby, they're going to activate. So these are the Eon Swift, the Eon Safe, and Eon Soul. So to understand these, basically think of 3 abilities to bear in mind: the Hunter Shade Step, the Warlock Grenade, and the Titan Barricade. So when someone does one of those things while wearing these gauntlets, it's going to give energy of those 2 other abilities to the other 2 subclasses. So for example, if you have a Hunter, Titan, and Warlock all stood next to each other or near each other with these exotics on, when the Hunter Shade steps, the Warlock is going to get grenade energy, and the Titan is also going to get some barricade energy. So it does work in vice versa. If a Titan pops a barricade, the Warlock's going to get grenade energy and the Hunter Shade Step. So it basically works in combination like those 3, and even people not wearing these exotics also get a small bit of energy, not as much as if you are wearing them. But of course the idea is that these do work in combination, and you can cycle abilities. So you get these from completing the Curse of Osiris campaign. I'm sure most of you have them, but that is how they work essentially. Now for weapons, you have the Prometheus Lens, the Trace Rifle, same as Cold Heart, but this is the solar version, and this is kind of the opposite of Cold Heart, because the Cold Heart is meant for bosses with high amounts of health. This thing, the Prometheus Lens, is meant for adds with low health, and it gives you ammo back every time you kill something. So this basically meant for lots of different adds, and is also absolutely destructive in the Crucible right now. It's probably going to be nerfed very soon, because it seemed like it may be bugged, but this thing literally melts enemies in Crucible, almost like a Vexmith class in Destiny 1 before it was nerfed. So it's probably going to be nerfed, unfortunately, but right now it's actually crazy broken if you luckily have it. The Crimson is the Red Death hand cannon, which I actually got from my very first Luminous Engram, really lucky. But this thing, as its main perk, heals you on kills and also gives you ammo back on precision kills, which is a nice combo there. And it also does a 3-round burst as a hand cannon, which is very, very strange. I'm actually loving it so far. I haven't used it a ton to know how good it is, but it is a very fun weapon to use. It looks like the Red Death feels like it, but it's got its own twist. I really love that aspect. And it's definitely really good against big groups of enemies and also pretty good in the Crucible. The Jade Rabbit Exotic Scout Rifle also returns at this time, and it's got the same perks as Destiny 1, where chaining body shots gives you more headshot damage. The Telesto is another one returning. This still shoots these sticky, time-delayed explosives, but now multi-kills, instead of giving you orbs, refills your kinetic and energy weapons from the reserves. And the final one is the Colony, the Viced Grenade Launcher that shoots robot spiders, so it's just as weird as it sounds. So next up, let's talk about Mercury and a bunch of things you can actually do there in terms of puzzles, secrets, and kind of ways to get more loot rewards. So the first thing is going to be the Forge weapons set. So if you don't know how to get these, there's actually, of course, a fixed set of verses you can obtain. So to kick this off, you need to actually do the campaign of Curse of Osiris, and then Brother Vance is going to offer you some adventures. You do all of those on normal, and then he's going to offer you some heroic ones. These are actually pretty challenging, definitely make you think a little bit, and not a breeze like most of the content, but you do a heroic adventure, and then you're going to get the first verse, and that is going to kick off your quest. So once you do get the verse, it is actually pretty self-explanatory. You can inspect the item, it's going to tell you what you need to do. So Heroic Public Event Chest, that's going to get the item actually required to upgrade the node. So you can basically either get lucky and get the blue item as a drop, which I did, or you can actually grind out a bunch of the green items and upgrade them into a blue. But either way, once you get the blue item required, or several of them, you can upgrade the node, and it's going to give you the Forge weapon. As you can see, the first one here is the Scout Rifle. It looks very similar to the Vexmith class, but it seems okay. I like Outlaw, but it isn't as good as Destiny 1 Outlaw. It's got a pretty heavy nerf in Destiny 2, so I'm not really that much of a fan of it. It isn't the best weapon, but it is quite cool in terms of high impact scouts. It's probably one of the better ones. Now, something else also inside the lighthouse, kind of secret you can unlock, which I mentioned a while ago, how there's a secret chest behind a barrier. Now, the way to unlock this is actually pretty simple. So there are going to be 5 books around the lighthouse, as you can see right here. These are the locations and the orders. You can simply go around and just hit them all in the right order you can see on screen. The first one is just here next to Vance. Then you go over to the right side of the room into this bookshelf. It's pretty obvious, you can see the glow. Then you want to walk over to the left side of the room. You can see it in the corner tucked away there. And then back over to that right side near where you got the second one. That's going to be book number 4. And then back over to the opposite side of the room once again for book number 5 hidden up here. So you hit all 5. That's going to unlock a conflux. You scan that and the gate unlocks. So that is your chest. Once you scan the conflux, the barrier will unlock and you can open it. Not too substantial in terms of rewards, pretty much as I expected. It's similar to most region chests. It's a bit better than the planetary chest, but nothing too fantastic. But that is how you do the puzzle inside the lighthouse. If you try and do the books in the wrong order, then it simply won't activate. And also, if you run out of time and don't do them quick enough in sequence, it's going to tell you in the feed that you ran out of time. So make sure you do it in the right order, but you really can do it solo. It isn't really much of a rush, and hopefully you guys can get this chest now. Another thing I also want to let you guys know about on Mercury is the heroic version of the public event. So the way to actually activate this is when you go over to the other sides, the far ends of Mercury, over through the jump pads. Once you defeat the mini boss over there that's holding the keys, you simply need to look in the sky, as I'm doing here, for these big kind of weird triangles that are going to spawn. You shoot them. You can do it solo. I've done it many times solo by myself, so you don't need that much firepower. You shoot these things in the sky, that's going to spawn platforms. You shoot even more of them, that's going to spawn even more platforms. You keep on going, rushing through, and eventually you should be able to get up to the very top. Then you simply stand inside the ring, and that is going to activate the heroic event. So it's kind of a cool little trick. Get on top of the thing and activate the heroic version. That's how it's done. So you can get 2 chests, technically the most rewarding public event ever. So you can get 2 tokens and a blue. So there you go, a massive rundown of all the exotics and also a couple mysteries on Mercury. As always, if you did enjoy this video and want to help support the channel, then like, ratings down below are always much appreciated. Of course, I'll have a bunch of videos going up on this channel very soon across the coming days and weeks. So stay tuned, make sure you are subscribed if you aren't already. In the meantime, if you want to watch another video from me, you can click the image on screen, and I'll see you guys next one.